Just doing some stuff, just keeping the hands limber, right? Just like being ready, just getting ready to strike at any moment and open these card packs. It's 1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock. Engage. We're in it. Okay, sweet. Galakron returns. Become the ultimate dragon. I would love to become the ultimate dragon. Galakron to the Tempest. 7 mana hero card for Shaman. Battlecry summon 2 2/2 storms with Rush. Invoke twice to upgrade. Okay, there's that invoke. Galakron the Unbreakable. Battlecry, draw 1 minion, give it +4/+4. Okay. Galakron the Nightmare. Rogue. Draw 1 card, it costs 0. Interesting. Here's Warlock. Galakron the Wretched. Summon 1 random demon, invoke twice to upgrade. Okay. And Galakron the Unspeakable. Destroy 1 random enemy minion, invoke twice to upgrade. This is the priest. Okay. Corrupt Elementalist, 5 mana Shaman, 3/3 Battlecry, invoke Galakron twice. That seems excellent. If Galakron Shaman is good, that seems like just throw it in there. Invoke, use Galakron's power. And you get to use his hero power twice. Candle Breath, draw 3 cards, cost 3 less while you're holding a dragon, 6 mana rogue spell. 6 mana draw 3 cards is very bad. 3 mana draw 3 cards is very good. This'll live or die on Dragon Rogue. If everything I remember from Blackrock Mountain and all that stuff still holds true, where you need about 8 dragons if you want to do dragon stuff relatively consistently, 8 to 10 dragons. If that still holds true, you'll need to be able to fit 8 to 10 dragons in your Dragon Rogue, and then the payoff is you get to 3 mana draw 3. 1 mana 1/2 Warrior Sky Raider. Battlecry, add a random pirate to your hand. This is just, it's one of those workhorse cards. It's a common. It's just going to be in every warrior deck. Emerald Explorer, 6 mana 4/8 Druid Dragon. Taunt, Battlecry, discover a dragon. 6 mana 4/8 with Taunt and Battlecry, discover a dragon. It seems like if you're going to do a dragon Druid deck, you can easily slot that in there. Hot Air Balloon, 1 mana 1/2 at the start of your turn, gain +1 health. That one's not super exciting. I just want to take a look real quick and see what all of the Galakron hero powers are, so I can speak about those intelligently. All right, Galakron's Wit. Add a random priest minion to your hand. So every time you play an invoke card and you have Galakron in your deck, you will add a random priest minion to your hand. If you are rogue, you will add a lackey to your hand every time you invoke. If you are a shaman, you gain a 2/1 elemental with Rush. This card is ridiculous. Corrupt Elementalist is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. 5 mana 3/3 is not amazing, but 5 mana 3/3 summon 2 2/1s with Rush and upgrade your Galakron, and it works in one of my favorite decks of all time, Quest Shaman. You imagine on turn 7, you hero power, you Corrupt Elementalist, you get 4. You get 4 2/1s with Rush. You've already completed your Galakron. Galakron coincidentally costs 7, so that means next turn you can do something, because it's only 8 mana. Turn 9, you can hero power Galakron, which summons, you'll summon 8/8s, I think you'll summon 8. You'll summon 4 8/8s if you hero power as Quest Shaman and then Galakron on 9. Right, it's 2 mana and then Galakron. That's incredible. I want to do that. Anyway, sorry. What are we talking about? All right, Galakron the Wretched. Invoke, summon 2 1/1 imps. Summon a random demon is kind of hit or miss. I assume you just summon more demons. It's probably like 2 and then 4. And then Galakron the Unbreakable. Galakron's Might. Give your hero +3 attack this turn. It's a high tempo kind of thing. Trade your health for board position kind of thing. Draw 1 minion, give it +4/+4. That just seems silly. It's like super Akali. Okay, now that I know what I'm talking about whenever I see Invoke, let's get back into it. All right, Squall Hunter. 4 mana 5/7 Dragon Shaman. Spell damage +2 Overload 2. That's really good. I mean, Totem Golem was 4 mana 7/7 Overload 2. And it was obviously everywhere. I think this is better. How good is spell damage? I mean, it's +2 spell damage. You can't let this guy stay on the board. All of a sudden, your Zap's hitting for 4, your Lightning Bolt's hitting for 5, Lava Burst's hitting for 7. If there's a Dragon Shaman in this world, I can't imagine they wouldn't run Squall Hunter. The question is, does it go in other Shamans? Probably a Token Overload Shaman? You coin out your Thunderhead on 3, Squall Hunter on 4. That's interesting. Strength in Numbers. Side Quest. Druid Side Quest. Spend 10 mana on minions to summon a minion from your deck. Okay, little Babbitt quests. I mean, spending 10 mana on minions in Druid is pretty easy, right? 2 Oasis Surgers and you're there. The problem is, at least the last couple of Druids that I was playing, I wanted battle cries. You know, Nomi's a battle cry. Elise is a battle cry. Malagos isn't a battle cry, but there's no way to guarantee unless it's the only minion in your deck somehow. This would be good in a big druid, but big druid hasn't been a thing for a while. So who knows? Maybe if big druid comes back, 1 mana rip a thing from your deck eventually seems pretty okay. Abyssal Summoner, 6 mana 2/2. Warlock creature, battle cry, summon a demon with taunt and stats equal to your hand size. You would need 7 cards in your hand, 7 or 8 cards, because then you would get I think the card comes out of your hand and then it calculates your hand size. So if you play this on 6 and you have 6 cards in your hand, then you would get a 5/5 with taunt and then the 2/2 Abyssal Summoner. That doesn't seem very good. Dragon Breeder, 2 mana 2/3 neutral creature. Battle cry, choose a friendly dragon, add a copy of it to your hand. That seems quite good. It's not a tragedy to just play it on 2, get a 2 mana 2/3. It's River Crocolisk. If you have only a couple of good dragons, you can double dip on them. Any dragon that costs 8 or less in the late game, you can essentially kick it for 2 to put it back in your hand, and you get a 2/3. And if it's an effective battle cry, then you get to do that again. Evasive Worm, 6 mana 5/3 neutral, Divine Shield and Rush, and can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. 6 mana deal 5, and you get a 5/3, and it can't be targeted. 6 mana is kind of expensive, but that's not a nothing effect. That might be like your 7th or 8th, or 9th or 10th dragon, depending on your dragon choices. I don't think this one's a pack filler. I think this one's got some legs. But it doesn't make a dragon deck on its own. 6 mana Camouflaged Dirigible. 6 mana 6/6 mech. Battle cry, give your other mechs stealth until your next turn. Stealth is so good they had to nerf it. A legendary already. 4 mana 4/4 neutral, Dragon Maw Poacher. Battle cry, if your opponent controls a dragon, gain +4/+4 and rush. Okay, 4 mana 8/8 with rush is insane. 4 mana neutral 8/8 rush is insane. Look at the dragons it has to battle against. This is a 5/3 rush Divine Shield. These two trade 1 for 1 with each other. This one costs 4, this one costs 6. This one just has to be on the board first. This just straight up smashes into Alexstrasza and trades 1 for 1. And this one costs 4 mana. Alexstrasza costs 9 mana. But it's a tech card. I mean, this is almost the definition of a tech card. 4 mana 4/4 is not good. It doesn't even have rush on its own. It needs an enemy dragon to gain the +4, and the rush. 4 mana 4/4 is garbage. You'd rather have a Yeti. 4 mana 4/5 vanilla. This is a card that's going to determine if you can play dragon decks. If everybody else is playing Dragon Maw Poacher, you'd be very strongly motivated not to play dragon decks because you maroon 2 cards in their deck. Wing Commander, 4 mana 2/5 neutral, has +2 attack for each dragon in your hand. Well, I guess if they're in your hand, so you need 1 dragon in your hand to get a Yeti. 2 dragons, you're above Yetis, but it still only has 5 health. 2 dragons gets you a 4 mana 6/5. This doesn't seem like the synergy card that sells dragons to me. Legendary. Priest legendary. Mind Flayer Karj. 3 mana 3/3. Battle cry, choose an enemy minion, death rattle, summon a new copy of it. That is good. That is quite good. Wow, that's really good. Wait, so let's say you're playing the most vanilla game of Hearthstone in your life, and on turn 2 they play a River Crocolisk, right? 2 mana 2/3. Now it's your turn. You play a 3 mana 3/3, death rattle, summon a 2/3. It has like silence taunt. People must silence this if you grab one of their big bombs, and if you're just playing it on board, tempo-wise, it's fine also. This seems really good. It seems like you could fit this into just about any priest deck you wanted to. I like it. I like that one. Plus, this is a fantastic one to get off Invoke Galakrond. Rex, it's a priest minion. Just invoke your way into a dozen of those. 4 mana 3/3 neutral. Battlecry, deal 3 damage to a random enemy minion. Guaranteed to hit minions is good. 4 mana 3/3 is not very good. It doesn't have a tribe either. Stowaway. 5 mana 4/4 rogue card. Battlecry, if there are cards in your deck that didn't start there, draw 2 of them. That's a fun card, which I appreciate fun cards. There's definitely room in the game for fun cards. This seems like a fun card. You're playing Academic Espionage, or you're playing Burgle Rogue of some kind. You might be able to figure out a way to legitimately get it into some kind of quest rogue, where you get the 3/2 weapons. But even that deck is kind of a fun deck in my estimation. 4 mana 5/4 neutral, evasive Feywing. Can't be targeted. It's just a real big fairy dragon. It is, legit, look at the art. It's a real big fairy dragon. This seems like it could also potentially be in the 7th to 10th dragon slot in your dragon deck. Can't be targeted. It gets ran over by the poacher. You play this on 4, they play their 4 mana 8/8 rush on 4, slay this, and they still have an 8/3. That poacher is ridiculous. Evil Quartermaster, 3 mana 2/3 warrior creature. Battlecry, add a lackey to your hand and gain 3 armor. 3 mana 2/3, obviously not great. Add a lackey to your hand and gain 3 armor. It's kind of an awkward stitchery of cards. Devoted Maniac, 4 mana 2/2 neutral creature. Rush, okay, 4 mana 2/2 rush is not inspiring. Battlecry, invoke. So this will either, in Shaman, it'll give you a 2/1 with rush. So it's actually a 4 mana 4/3 with rush. And you advance your Galakron. That's not horrible. And it advances your quest. I want to play Galakron Quest Shaman, I think is what I'm discovering so far off like the first 5 packs. Give your hero +3 attack. Put a random priest minion into your hand. Add a lackey to your hand. That's rogue. Give you 2 1/1 imps. That's warlock. It seems weak. Parachute Brigand, 2 mana 2/2 neutral pirate. After you play a pirate, summon this minion from your hand. Oh wow, you just get to rip this right out of your hand. That's pretty good. It's only good with pirate stuff, right? Because if playing a 2 mana 2/2 is not on the menu. But if it comes out of your hand for free, 0 mana 2/2, that's some tempo. Breath of Dreams, 2 mana druid spell. Draw a card. If you're holding a dragon, gain an empty mana crystal. Oh, we got Wild Growth back. It has to be a dragon. Depth Charge, 1 mana 0/5. At the start of your turn, deal 5 damage to all minions. Oh, it's like a turn 1 Doomsayer, but not quite as good, and it has less health, and it blows itself up. But it could survive. If you Depth Charge, coin, Power Word Shield, it survives for 2 turns. This could be a tough one to time out, right? Like, when do you play this? Awaken, 3 mana warrior spell, invoke Galakron, which means give your hero +3 attack. Deal 1 damage to all minions. All right, so it's a whirlwind and an invoke for 3 mana. You know what this is kind of like? Is a 3 mana swipe that hits everybody. So if you don't have a board, this is a 3 mana swipe, and you potentially take face damage to yourself. Shrubadier, 2 mana 1/1 druid creature. Battlecry, summon a 2/2 treant. Hey, if treant druid is a thing, let's get more treants. Hippogriff, 4 mana 2/6 neutral beast with rush and taunt. It's the Stegosaurus guy, but it has rush now. Seal Fate, 3 mana rogue spell. Deal 3 damage to an undamaged character and invoke Galakron. So Backstab is 0. Deals 2 damage, granted. Invoke Galakron gives you a lackey in your hand. This is like 3 mana, generate a lackey to your hand, deal 3 damage to an undamaged character on turn 3. That's not very inspiring. I'm not seeing a ton of application for it. I will also just go ahead and freely admit that I am not a rogue specialist by any means. Plate Breaker, 5 mana 5/5 neutral. Battlecry, destroy your opponent's armor. Gosh, can you imagine a paladin out there plays High Priest Thakal, deals 29 damage to themselves, gains 29 armor, and then you freaking Plate Breaker them on 5? I don't know how often that'll happen. You know, it doesn't have it's a tech card for sure. If you're tired of, you know, druids having 20 armor or warriors having 20 armor. But High Priest Thakal would be the funniest. They like, oh yeah, High Priest on 3. I have 29 armor. I can get my heal paladin rolling. And then this is Battlecry, deal 29 damage on turn 5. Twin Tyrant, 8 mana 4/10 neutral dragon. Battlecry, deal 4 damage to 2 random enemy minions. That seems pretty good. It's a Battlecry again. I'm seeing a lot of candidates for dragon 7 through 10. I'm not seeing dragons like 1 through 5. Where's the dragons that you make your deck a dragon deck for? Where are those dragons? Diving Griffin, 3 mana 4/1 hunter beast. Rush, and Battlecry, draw a rush minion from your deck. This seems excellent. Evasive Chimera, 2 mana 2/1 neutral beast with poisonous and can't be targeted. Cheap beast with poisonous. If there's a beast hunter and it just needs cheap beasts, 1 health is too small. Surging Tempest, 1 mana, 1/3 Shaman Elemental, has +1 attack while you have overloaded mana crystals. 1 mana, 1/3 is fine. Elemental doesn't seem to matter in Shaman right now. 1 mana, 2/3 is good. I think you'd play it in an overload deck. I don't think it goes into every Shaman deck. I don't think it makes it into Galakron Shaman, for example. You wouldn't put it in Battlecry Shaman. Tasty Flyfish, 2 mana, 2/2 neutral Murloc. Death Rattle, give a dragon in your hand +2/+2. If there's a way to fit Murlocs and dragons next to each other, I will be surprised. Dragon's Pack, 5 mana Shaman spell. Summon 2/2/3 Spirit Wolves with Taunt. If you've invoked twice, give them +3/+3. So 5 mana, summon 2 5/6 Spirit Wolves with Taunt. This card is so good. Dropping it on 5 in particular is so good. And there's the 5 mana 3/3 invoke twice. Granted, it's also 5 mana, so you end up with a lot of 5 mana cards. But you play this on 6, a 6 mana 10, 12 Taunt Wolf that doesn't overload you going into turn 7, where you could potentially Galakron. Yeah, no, Dragon's Pack is insane. Skyclaw, 3 mana 1/2 Paladin Mech. Your other mechs have +1 attack, just as a passive ability, and Battlecry, summon 2 1/1 Microcopters. So they're actually 2 2/1 Microcopters, as long as Skyclaw's on the board, right? I assume the Microcopters must be mechs. They got Copter in the name, they're mechs. You know, if you curve into this on 3, you have to kill it, because it's buffing up your Micro Mummy, it's buffing up its own Microcopters. If Mech Paladin is a thing, I would not at all be surprised to see Skyclaw in every iteration of it. Any kind of aggressive Paladin would be interested in Skyclaw, plus you fetch it with Crystology. Azure Explorer, 4 mana 2/3 Dragon Mage. Mage Dragon. An early contender for most adorable art of the entire expansion. 4 mana 2/3, spell damage +2, and discover a dragon. This could be Dragons 7 and 8. Yet again, it replaces itself. That's good. Spell damage +2 has a lot of niche appeal. There's a lot going on, but if it runs into a Dragon Maw Poacher, you get obliterated. Chrono Breaker, 5 mana 4/5 Priest Dragon with Death Rattle. If you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage to all enemy minions. A holding a dragon Death Rattle. Shades of Chillmaw, for those of you who remember Chillmaw. That's interesting, and it's only enemy minions. Only enemy minions. This seems like it's more toward, like, this seems like a good dragon. This seems like this dragon would be dragons like 5 and 6, and your dragon priest. Primordial Explorer, 3 mana 2/3 Hunter Dragon with Poisonous and Battlecry Discover a Dragon. This is what I'm talking about. I mean, it's poisonous, so if they poach you, at least you both lose your card and you discovered a dragon. Obviously, if they can kill it on board, then if they can like poach her and then deal with your Primordial Explorer, that's still a bummer. They still get an 8/8. But at least you 1-for-1 with Dragon Poacher for its change, and you discovered a dragon. Bad Luck Albatross, 3 mana 4/3 neutral beast. Death Rattle, shuffle 2 1/1 Albatross into your opponent's deck. 3 mana 4/3 is an unusual stat line. You know what this kinda says? This is a tech card. Bad Luck Albatross, 4/3 beast, Death Rattle, disable their Zephrys. Turn off your opponent's Highlander deck. That's what this says. Phase Stalker, 2 mana 2/3 Hunter Beast. After you use your hero power, cast a secret from your deck. After you use your hero power, but it's a 2 mana 2/3. I mean, it's a beast, that's not nothing. If Secret Hunter turns out to be a thing, maybe this makes it in there. Emerald Explorer, this is that dragon we were talking about. That, you know, if you're going to try to do a big druid, this could potentially turn on your wild growths. Grave Rune, 4 mana priest spell. Give a minion Death Rattle, summon 2 copies of this. So for 4 mana, you can duplicate one of your own creatures, but they have to die. So it's like a carnivorous cube effect, kind of, but you don't get a creature with it. I'd be interested to know if you play Zarek's Cloning Gallery, and you know you get out a bunch of 1/1 dudes, and then you cast Grave Rune on one of those. I would assume you get the full version of it, right? Like if you Zarek's Cloning Gallery into your Moshog Enforcer or something, and it dies, you get the full 2/12 Divine Shield, right? Something like that. I'm not sure about Grave Rune. It seems like you would want to cast it on something that costs 6 or less mana. Evasive Draconid, 7 mana 7/7 neutral dragon with taunt and can't be targeted. You know what's crazy about Evasive Draconid is it gets absolutely ran over by everyone's favorite 4-mana card, the Dragon Poacher, because that's an 4-mana 8/8 with Rush. So you play this for 7 mana, they rush in for 4, something that kills this, and they still have an 8/1. Dragon Poacher, man, is freaking insane. It is a dragon, so this could potentially be dragon 9 and 10. Blazing Battle Mage, 1 mana 2/2 neutral. That's it. It's a 1 mana 2/2. I guess if you just need 1-drops, if there's a token druid that just wants more 1-drops but isn't a treant. Breath of Dreams, that's the one that gives you a mana crystal. Bronze Explorer, this guy's also in the running for most adorable card art of the set. 3 mana 2/3 Paladin Dragon with Lifesteal and Battlecry Discover a Dragon. If Dragon Paladin is a thing, this would probably be Dragon 5 and 6. And it replaces itself and it turns on all your activators, all your dragon-dependent activators. Gosh, would you play this even outside 3 mana 2/3 Lifesteal Discover a Dragon? That is a dragon. This is intriguing. I like this card quite a bit. I'm not sure if it has to be in a dragon deck. If you're doing a Finley Paladin, some kind of Highlander Paladin, this could be card number 29 or number 30. Living Dragon Breath, 3 mana 3/4 neutral elemental. Your minions can't be frozen. Back in the Freeze Mage days, if Freeze Mage comes back, I'd be interested to see if Living Dragon Breath can find a tech application, because Blizzard at that point is just 2 damage. It's just a Consecrate that doesn't hit face and costs 2 more mana. Alright, Storm's Wrath. 1 mana Shaman spell, give your minions +1/+1 and Overload 1. Yeah, tokeny Overload. Any deck that has Thunderhead, you can always think about Storm's Wrath. Because your Thunderhead's on the board, you like Lightning Bolt something that makes 2 little 1/1s, and then you Storm's Wrath, and now all of a sudden you have 4 2/2s with Rush. Storm's Wrath, yeah, seems pretty okay. Learn Draconic, 1 mana mage side quest. Spend 8 mana on spells to get a 6/6 dragon. 1 mana, get a 6/6 dragon? Are you gonna not cast spells as a mage? Yeah, that seems fine. Anytime you just have a mana left over, you can just throw that in there. And then you're gonna be casting spells, right? 3 mana to draw 2 cards. Arcane Intellect, you'll generate even Arcane Missiles, right? Is 1 mana, deal 3 damage, advance this by 1. Sure, it's a delayed 1 mana 6/6, but this is like a 1 mana 6/6, and then all your spell effects will also happen. That seems very cool. Sand Breath, 1 mana Paladin spell, give a minion +1/+2, give it Divine Shield if you're holding a dragon. Okay, one of the reasons to run the little Explorer guy, the little 3 mana 2/3 Lifesteal Discover a Dragon guy. Can you imagine this with a Ziliax? Like you play Ziliax, you bonk something, and then you can give it Divine Shield again, and now it's a 4/4 with Divine Shield again, and Taunt, and still Lifesteal. Gobbo Glide tech, 3 mana 3/3 neutral, Battlecry if you control a mech, gain +1/+1, and Rush. This is another reason to maybe go look at that mech Paladin, right? Like your Skyclaw, Gobbo Glide tech. You can stack up threats pretty quickly. Bronze Explorer, that's the one. He looks so really, he's got his little map and goggles and hat. Adorable. Arcane Explorer, also adorable. Rolling Fireball, 5 mana mage spell, deal 8 damage to a minion, excess damage moves to the left or right. That's interesting, and you have to think about that positioning wise. I know I said that you have to put Cloaked Dirigigerbil on the far side of the board. That actually makes Rolling Fireball better. That said, I don't know if Rolling Fireball is good enough to actually make it into the deck. That seems like something you want to get off your Mana Cyclone, or something else. Skybarge, 3 mana 2/5 warrior mech. After you summon a pirate, deal 2 damage to a random enemy. Wow, that with that parachuter makes pirates very dangerous. Because I'm pretty sure the parachuter would count. So you would like play that on 3. Next turn you play the little 1 mana 1/2 that gives you a pirate, and then that pulls the 2/2 out of your hand, and the barge shoots twice at least, potentially more. Pirate warrior, huh? We're going back to that. Heading right on back to Pirate Warrior. Absolutely, why not? Invocation of Frost, 1 mana shaman card. Freeze an enemy, invoke Galakron. Well, invoke Galakron is a 2/1 with Rush. And you get to freeze any enemy, so you can freeze their face. You can play this on turn 1 if you want to invoke Galakron. Oh, this is a Frost Shard, but it's got Rush. Oh yeah, no, that's really good. Whispers of Evil, 0 mana priest spell. Add a lackey to your hand. Problem is it costs 0. And any time you have a spell that costs 0, no matter what it does, you have to worry about Gadget Zan Auctioneer. And there is a priest deck that exists already. that is Miracle Priest, where you gadgets and auctioneer and you play a bunch of cheap stuff and then you me somebody to death. How this could not make it into that deck is beyond me. So if that is a deck, then we'll see Whispers of Evil. It costs 0. Clear the Way, 1 mana Hunter side quest. Summon 3 Rush minions, reward summon a 4/4 Griffin with Rush. Oh yeah, do this in the Griffins. Do this in the Griffins and Ziliacs. And you've already gotten a 4/4 for 1. Yeah, my initial impression of that is good. Firehawk, 3 mana 1/3 neutral elemental. Battlecry, gain +1 attack for each card in your opponent's hand. So it's 3 cost. So you would want its attack to be 5, probably 6. You could, if you're a mage, you could elemental evocation this out on turn 1. Otherwise, I mean, I guess this could potentially be a tech card against Hand Warlock if that turns out to be a thing. Embiggen, 0 mana druid spell. Give all minions in your deck +2/+2. They cost 1 mana more up to a maximum of 10. Okay, so you can't invalidate your 10 cost cards or your 9 cost cards if you cast it twice. Big druid, you know, Embiggen in conjunction with mana ramp, in conjunction with that side quest, is looking interesting. What happens if you hit a mountain giant with Embiggen? Does it stay 12? It doesn't like snap to 10, does it? What about like a sea giant? There's just no downside. There's no downside to hitting a sea giant with Embiggen because it's already cost 10. So you just get a 12/12 giant if you hit it twice. Huh. Dragon's Horde, 1 mana rogue spell. Discover a legendary minion from another class. I mean, if Burgle Rogue is a thing, if Quest Rogue is a thing, this is a great thing to cast with your, what's the name of the legendary? Tess Greymane or something like that. You know, she just generates you a class legendary. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Activates combos. Always got to think about that. Cheap cards and rogue turn on your combos. Nether Breath, 2 mana warlock spell. Deal 2 damage. If you're holding a dragon, deal 4 damage with lifesteal instead. So the activated ability, deal 4 with lifesteal. That's incredible. Think about Frostbolt is 2 mana, deal 3 and freeze something. Shadowbolt is 3 mana, deal 4, no lifesteal. If Dragon Warlock is good, you'll play 2 copies of this. That I have no doubt. Time Rip, 5 mana priest spell, destroy a minion. And in this version, Invoke Caligrand is add a random priest minion to your hand. Okay, and I guess if you're gonna do Galakon Priest, this is just a good way to delete something. And you can destroy any minion. You can set off your own grave thing if you want, if you're feeling really zesty. Azure Explorer, still adorable. Azure Explorer and Bronze Explorer should definitely make a super best friends club. Violet Spellwing, 1 mana 1/1 mage elemental. With Death Rattle, add an arcane missile spell to your hand. Yeah, that seems like a perfectly fine 1 cost card. And arcane missiles, you know, if you're still trying to generate spells, if any lunatics out there are still playing Quest Mage, this arcane missile spell works for that. It gets you closer to learn Draconic. If elemental turns out to matter, yeah. Sort of just a low-key 1 cost thing that kind of puts itself back in your hand and lets you do more stuff. Molten Breath, 4 mana warrior spell. Deal 5 damage to a minion. If you're holding a dragon, gain 5 armor. Kind of reminds me of the old Ironforge portal. If there's a dragon warrior, you can do some silly stuff, like you can Molten Breath Shield Slam or something like that for 5 mana if you need to clear out if you need to do 5 damage to a bunch of creatures. But I don't know, if you're up against a bunch of big burly dragons, might I recommend the Dragon Poacher? Lightforged Zealot, 4 mana 4/2 paladin creature. 4/2 is not very good. Battlecry, if your deck has no neutral cards, equip a True Silver Champion. You're gonna play True Silver anyway. Might as well get a 4/2 creature with it. Can you make a good deck with no neutrals? That's an interesting deck building challenge. Fiendish Rites, 3 mana warlock spell. Invoke Galakron, give your minions +1 attack. And invoking Galakron for this guy is get 2 1/1 imps. Seems alright in Zoo. If you're gonna do a Galakron Zoo, seems like you'd definitely include that. Gives your eggs attack, stuff like that. Dragon Caster, 6 mana 4/4 mage creature. Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, your next spell this turn costs 0. I thought it was a dragon because there's a big old dragon right here, but I guess the unit itself is actually this one up here. But yeah, Dragon Mage. If you want to do Dragon Mage, this seems like a good way to cheat out your Flame Strikes, Blizzards, puzzle boxes of Yogg-Saron. It allows you to cast any spell for 6, and you get a 4/4. Pyroblast, all of a sudden, is deal 10 damage, you get a 4/4, and it only costs 6. I would play Pyroblast if it was 6 mana, summon a 4/4, deal 10 damage. Oh, like Luna's Pocket Galaxy. 6 mana, play Luna's Pocket Galaxy, and you get a 4/4? Yeah. I like the Primordial Explorer. If Dragon Hunter's a thing, it definitely fit this dude in, I think. This will be Dragon 5 or 6. And yeah, he's got a cute backpack. He's not as cute as Bronze and Azure, but he's still pretty adorable. I like the Explorers a lot so far. Utgard Grapple Sniper. 6 mana, 5/5 neutral, Battlecry. Both players draw a card, and if it's a dragon, summon it. Symmetrical effect that is pretty hit or miss. Scale Rider. 3 mana, 3/3 neutral, Battlecry. If you're holding a dragon, deal 2 damage. This is excellent. If you are playing a dragon deck, you put in 2 of these. It's an SI7 agent that everyone can play. And you don't have to activate it with a coin. Instead, you activate it with a dragon in your hand. If you have enough dragons to play this on 3 consistently, this is one of your rewards for doing so, I would say. Here we go. Scion of Ruin. 3 mana, 3/2 warrior dragon, rush, Battlecry. If you've invoked twice, summon 2 copies of this. So Warrior Galakron is give your hero +3 attack. That's the invoke. The effect of invoking and then playing Galakron is draw X number of creatures, 1, 2, or 4, give them +4/+4. Can you imagine this thing drawn off of that? It's a 7/6 that summons 2 other 7/6s. 3 mana, 21/18 rush. Dark Skies. 3 mana warlock spell. Deal 1 damage to a random minion. Repeat for each card in your hand. Okay. Well, this is a good removal card if you're doing a hand warlock situation. So, best case for this card, you have 10 cards in hand, you play it, and it's like a 9 damage volcano. And if you have nothing on your board, it just deals 9 damage to the enemy board. Horde Pillager. 4 mana, 4/2 neutral pirate, Battlecry. Equip one of your destroyed weapons. If you're a warrior, if this says 4 mana, 4/2 Battlecry, equip Arcanite Reaper, then yeah. And it fires your Sky Barge in the absolute best case scenario. There's other weapons as well, though. There's all kinds of stuff you can do for it. Faceless Corruptor. 5 mana, 5/4 rush. With Battlecry, transform one of your minions into a copy of this. Okay, wait a minute. No, that's ridiculous. Okay, no, that's ridiculous. 5 mana, 5/4 rush is fine. Battlecry, transform one of your minions into a copy of this. Imagine you play something that's trash on its own, right? You play an evil Cable Rat. It's a 1/1 that puts a lackey in your hand. You're playing it because it puts a lackey in your hand. When you Faceless Corruptor, you gain the 5/4 with rush, and you turn your garbage Cable Rat, whose entire value is the Battlecry, into another 5/4 with rush. So all of a sudden, this is a 5 mana, 10/8 rush. You can use it as a heal, right? Like maybe you've played Questing Explorer. It's a 2/3, and you've been able to do some trade, but now it's a 2/1. Wham! Make it a 5/4. So it seems like a very strong minion recycling card. Yeah, that seems nuts. Zoo, I think, will play this in a half second. Oh! Legendary. Frizz Kindle Roost. 4 mana, 5/4 neutral legendary. Battlecry, reduce the cost of dragons in your deck by 2. It's good, but it's not good till later. So, I mean, the nuts is you play this and you hit your next dragon that you draw. You would want it to be a 7-cost dragon that this reduced to 5. So then you could just like roll in at maximum speed. Evasive Draconid Taunt. The 7 mana, 7/7 taunt can't be targeted. If that cost 5 mana, you know, maybe now there's the 8 mana, deal 4 damage twice. If that costs 6 mana, how many dragons do you need in your deck though for this? And this is a 1 of. I think you would put this in a dragon deck, but I don't think it's the reason you make a dragon deck. Evasive Worm for 4. Right? 4 mana, 5/3 Divine Shield Rush can't be targeted. Okay. Now at least it's trading evenly with the 4 mana Poacher. Have I brought up the 4 mana Poacher with Rush yet? Ritual Chopper. 2 mana, 1/2 warrior weapon. Battlecry, invoke Galakron. Oh yeah, that's excellent. The turn you play it, it's a 2 mana, 4/2. Because invoking Galakron gives you +3 attack, and it has 1 attack already. So 2 mana, 4/2. And if you can invoke again the next turn, maybe next turn you need to swipe for some reason, so you awaken. That turns this from a 1/1 weapon on turn 3 into a 4/1 weapon on turn 3. Dwarven Sharpshooter, 1 mana, 1/3 hunter minion. Your hero power can target minions. Yeah, it seems great. Just throw that in your hunter deck. Definitely Highlander Hunter. and then, but maybe any hunter, because you play this on 1, and then turn 2, you can either play a 2-cost creature or just control their board. Rain of Fire, 1 mana warlock spell, deal 1 damage to all characters. This is a the Infernal, the Dread Infernal battle cry. Just deal 1 damage to everything. Gyrocopter, 6 mana 4/5 neutral mech with rush and wind fury. Huh. It's like a little Tiamat. It's a little Tiamat, but it can't have Divine Shield. It can. You could magnetize a Ziliax to it, actually. Or an Anoyo module. Then it would be a big Tiamat. It would have all 4 Tiamat possibilities, but it would cost 10. I think this is too expensive, but you know, it's possible there's a mech situation out there. You know, you can give it stealth with the dirigible, you can magnetize stuff onto it, give it more attack. You know, for 9 mana, you can throw a Replicating Menace on there, and then it's a 7/6 Rush, Wind Fury, Death Rattle, Summon 1/1s. I have a feeling we'll probably see this most off of Omega Assembly, or Dr. Boom Mad Genius's Hero Power Discover a Mech. Lightforged Crusader, 7 mana 7/7 Paladin creature with Battle Cry. If your deck has no neutral cards, add 5 random Paladin cards to your hand. Okay, so this is another no neutral reward card, but as a reward, it's a 7 mana 7/7 that gives you 5 Paladin cards, which, to be fair, there are some good Paladin cards. The problem I have with this is there are some bad Paladin cards. What if it gives you 5 secrets? That's pretty unlikely, though. Because on the other end, it could give you 5 Tyrians. Would you even want 5 Tyrians? Would that be too much Tyrian? Breath of the Infinite, 3 mana priest spell. Deal 2 damage to all minions. If you're holding a dragon, only damage enemies. Would priest play Volcanic Potion from back in the mean streets of Gadgetzan days? Because that's the worst case. It just deals 2 damage to the board. If you have a dragon, it's like a Consecrate, or like a Holy Nova, or like a Blizzard, but only the damage. Because it only costs 3. You don't get the freeze, you don't hurt their hero, you don't heal yourself. You know, if you're playing a slow priest, you may not be on the board yet on turn 3. You may not even need a dragon for this effect. Arcane Breath, 1 mana mage spell. Deal 2 damage to a minion. If you're holding a dragon, discover a spell. That seems great. Oh man, you get this, you get your little Azure Explorer, and now this deals 4 damage and discovers a spell. Disciple of Galakron, 1 mana 1/2 priest creature. Battlecry, invoke Galakron, which for this is add a random priest creature to your hand. Pretty good value, pretty low tempo. Playing a 1/2 on 1 is good, but the Battlecry could give you any priest creature. You could really miss. This will live and die by Galakron. I mean, this isn't good enough to play without Galakron. Bloodsail Flybooter, 1 mana 1/1 rogue pirate. Battlecry, add 2 1/1 pirates to your hand. Yeah, that seems fine. It looks like everyone got a good 1 drop for their class. This is perfectly fine for rogues. Righteous Cause, 1 mana paladin side quest. Summon 5 minions to give your minions +1/+1. Is that Sir Finley? It's a paladin card, so you can put it in a paladins only deck. It works with the Sky Claw. I'd assume the Sky Claw gives you 3 triggers for this, and then we would get... It seems kind of easy for your opponent to play around. If you play this, you have to reveal to the world that you're playing it, and so they just keep your board clear, and so the most you get off of it is +3/+3. Fate Weaver, 4 mana 3/6 priest dragon. Battlecry, if you've invoked twice, reduce the cost of cards in your hand by 1. Yeah, that's great. If you're doing Galakron priest, definitely put Fate Weaver in there. Is that good enough to then do Dragon Galakron priest? Maybe. Because you got the Chrono Breaker is also in there. Yeah, Fate Weaver seems like it would sort of knit those two together, your Galakrons and your dragons. Secure the deck. 1 mana druid side quest. Attack twice with your hero. Add 3 claw spells to your hand. Claw, of course, being the 1 mana, gain 2 attack and gain 2 armor. That doesn't seem very good. If you're a quest druid, you lose your attack button. Token decks, you're supposed to be curved low enough to where you're not attacking with your hero. Elemental Allies, 1 mana mage side quest. Play an elemental 2 turns in a row to draw 3 spells from your deck. Wow. That seems like you just immediately slotted into Mana Cyclone Mage. You can do Violet Spellwing, Mana Cyclone, Mountain Giant. I'm sure there's other elementals that I'm forgetting. I think you can just do that, though. I think you can just put this into Mana Cyclone Mage. Maybe put both Learn Draconic and Elemental Allies. Maybe put them both in. then you're getting 6/6 dragons and you're just drawing spells to keep you gassed up. That seems pretty good. 1 mana draw 3 is insane. Chromatic Egg, 5 mana 0/3 neutral. Battlecry, secretly discover a dragon to hatch into. Death Rattle, hatch into that dragon. It just seems too slow. It's too big and slow. So where would this go? Zoo, right? Because Zoo, you can make it into something nifty. Your opponent will never want to activate this because they know chances are, since you got to discover a dragon to hatch into, it's going to be big and obnoxious. Especially if you're going to pay 5 mana for an 0/3. This is a low tempo card. So that means the thing that it hatches into needs to be colossal. So your opponent is either going to silence it, transform it, or ignore it. Necrium Apothecary, 4 mana 2/5 rogue creature with combo, draw a Death Rattle minion from your deck and gain its Death Rattle. What? Wait. So 4 mana 2/5 is weird. That's an unusual stat line. And it's a combo to gain a Death Rattle. So you're a rogue. What kind of Death Rattles do you want? You're doing something with Necrium Blades or Necrium Vials. So you're probably doing stuff with the Mechanical Whelp. That's insane. If this is combo, draw a Mechanical Whelp and gain its Death Rattle. 4 mana, draw a card, gain a Death Rattle, and that Death Rattle is Mechanical Whelp. Yeah, that seems quite good. Zoldrak Ritualist, 4 mana 3/9 neutral taunt. With Battlecry, summon 3 random 1-cost minions for your opponent. I think that cost is too high. If you know you're gonna brawl, on 9 mana you can play this and brawl, and it just increases the chances that you kill whatever you really need to kill. Or if you're gonna whirlwind anyway, something like there's some area of effect coming down that you know is already coming down. You play the, I don't know. It's too conditional. Praise Galakron, 1 mana rogue spell. Give a minion +1 attack and invoke Galakron, which is add a lackey to your hand. That doesn't seem very good either. I don't know. I'm not seeing rogue Galakron right now. Maybe getting lackeys is so good that you'll play bad cards to get them. I don't think Praise Galakron is good. 1 mana, add 1 attack to something, and it's not like you get to do this and then play a lackey and then give that lackey +1 attack. Tree Enforcements, 1 mana druid spell, choose 1, give a minion +2 health and taunt, or summon a treant. Oh yeah, there's your turn 1 treant play. You're playing treant druid, and bam, 1 mana 2/2. See, 1 mana 2/2, but this one's a treant, so it turns on your Dendrologist, if you're playing Dendrologist, triggers your Muncher cost reduction, and you could also give something 2 health and taunt. And Golden Legendary Waxadread, 5 mana 7/5 rogue dragon. Death Rattle, shuffle a candle into your deck that resummons Waxadread when drawn. Oh, this works with the little guy, with the Necrium guy. It'll draw Waxadread, and it'll gain Death Rattle, shuffle a candle into your deck that summons Waxadread. Crazed Netherwing, 5 mana 5/5 Warlock Dragon. Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage to all other characters. Yeah, that's quite good. It's a Hellfire. It's a Hellfire, but it's got a 5/5 attached to it. And Hellfire costs 4 mana. This is like a 1 mana 5/5, as long as you're holding a dragon. This might be a reason to play Control Dragon Warlock. And I got 2 of them, which is nice. Amber Watcher, 5 mana 4/6 Paladin Dragon. Battlecry, restore 8. That's insane. Yeah, that's very good. I don't know what a Control Paladin would look like, but maybe this is just good enough to make it into, only Paladin's Paladin, or Highlander Paladin. Man, poor Antique Healbot. Antique Healbot's getting embarrassed. Aeroponics, 5 mana druid spell, draw 2 cards, costs 2 less for each treant you control. Okay, right, you have 1 treant, this costs 3. It's already an arcane intellect. 2, it's 1 mana draw 2. Christology level ridiculous. But it costs 5. And one of the things that generates treants wants you to have big spells. The Gnomish Gardener. On turn 5, you can play Gnome Gardener and this on the same turn. If there's a treant druid, it seems like Aeroponics makes it in there automatically. Automagically. Yeah. I like this for treant druid. Big ol' whelp. All right. big ol' whelp. 5 mana 5/5 neutral dragon. Battlecry, draw a card. Yeah, sure. He kind of looks like a dog. This one's sort of adorable in a different way. It's just sort of like big and goofy. It seems like if there's a deck that would be interested in playing Azure Drake, they'd also be interested in playing Big Ol' Whelp. Cobalt Spellkin, 5 mana 3/5. Battlecry, add 2 1-cost spells from your class to your hand. Gosh, so I guess you can pick between this and big old whelp. If you'd rather have spell generation, do this. If you'd rather just have a bigger creature, do big old whelp. They're both dragons. Maybe you do both. That's a lot of 5-cost cards, though. Would you really have 4 5-cost cards that are 2 Cobalt Spellkins and 2 big ol' whelps? Maybe. Shuma, 7 mana 1/7 neutral legendary. At the end of your turn, fill your board with 1/1 tentacles. Gross. Is that good? 7 mana 7/7? It's like a very wide war golem. Okay, so I'm thinking about like token druid. You'd want to do Forest's Aid instead, I would assume. Do you want 3 copies of Forest's Aid? I would assume no. You'd play Force of Nature instead. Could you fit this in Zoo? It'd give you plenty of stuff to target. The problem is it's big and slow, and it's an end of your turn effect. So if you do any of your like 1 mana bomb the board effects, you don't get your tentacles back until the end of the turn. Stormhammer, 3 mana 3/2 hunter weapon. Doesn't lose durability while you control a dragon. And it's a hammer? I always thought of a hammer as like a dwarf thing. I guess dwarves can be hunters. Yeah, okay. Yeah, dwarves can be hunters. I guess Griffin Riders in Warcraft 3, like Griffin Riders would throw hammers. And there's the Griffin Rider in Heroes of the Storm. I forget his name, but he throws hammers. Okay. Anyway, I think doesn't lose durability while you control a dragon is deceptively good. Especially if you're not going to do secrets, right? If you're not going to do secrets, you're not going to do Eaglehorn Bow, then your weapon options are like Desert Spear or Headhunter's Hatchet, something like that. Maybe there's a dragon hunter that does Stormhammer, because as long as you sequence your attacks correctly, if you play a dragon from your hand, they can't stop you from getting just insane value off of this hammer. As long as you have a dragon on the board, or if you have a playable one in your hand, you never have to stop swinging your Stormhammer. So I think that's really good. I think Stormhammer has the potential to be really, really good. Wormrest Purifier, 2 mana 3/2 neutral. Battlecry, transform all neutral cards in your deck into random cards from your class. No thank you. What? It's a fun card. That's firmly in the fun card category. Mana Giant, 8 mana 8/8 Mage Elemental. Costs 1 less for each card you've played this game that didn't start in your deck. Oh man, it's an elemental. There's the new Violet Spellwing that gives you a card that doesn't start in your deck because it's just an Arcane Missiles. You're generating a bunch of stuff off Mana Cyclone. You're generating a bunch of stuff off of Magic Trick. You're generating stuff, You're generating stuff off of your 3/5 dragon that gives you 2 1-cost spells. Mountain Giant is probably easier to burst down to cheap, but Mana Giant is gonna be 0. I feel like you can just inevitably, Mana Giant is gonna be 0. Dragonblight Cultist, 3 mana 1/1 Warlock creature. Battlecry, invoke Galakron, so that's giving you 2 1/1 imps. Gain +1 attack for each other friendly minion. Okay, so on an empty board, I assume this comes out to be a 3/1 with 2 1/1s. Is that good? Certainly not with the Rain of Fire. That is not good. But, you know, you're trying to invoke Galakron, you're trying to just get the imps out. 3 mana 3/3. It's kind of a 3 mana 5/3, kinda. Sort of a build your own rager. Sanctuary, 2 mana paladin side quest. Take no damage for a turn. 2 mana side quest. Huh, that's unique thus far. Reward, summon a 3/6 minion with taunt. Huh, that's odd. Sort of a 2 mana give your face taunt. And if they ever miss an attack on your face, you get a 3/6 minion. It's like a 2 mana 3/6 minion eventually. Or they never miss attacking your face and you die. It sort of indirectly protects your board. Some attack has to hit your face, otherwise a 3/6 actually comes out and protects your board. So if they want to keep interacting with your board, they have to hit you in the face. Kobold Sticky Finger, 5 mana 4/4 neutral pirate. Battlecry, steal your opponent's weapon. It's a way to hate on weapons without playing Harrison Jones or Ooze. You can instead Kobold Sticky Finger, steal their weapon. I mean, on the one hand, it doesn't draw, which is bad. But on the other hand, it doesn't draw, which could be good. If you are in a matchup where you don't want to draw cards, then Harrison Jones actively works against you. But if you're sticky fingering instead, then they can use weapons and then you can steal them. Corrosive Breath, 2 mana hunter spell. Deal 3 damage to a minion. If you're holding a dragon, it also hits the enemy hero. Oh, it's a Cobra Kai. It's Cobra Strike. Cobra Shot. But Cobra Shot costs like 5. This only costs 2. And you just have to hold a dragon. That seems great. Between that and Stormhammer, man, you can just sneak in all kinds of damage. Just clears the way for your higher tempo minions. Legendary. Murozond the Infinite. 8 mana, 8/8 Priest Dragon. Battle Cry, play all cards your opponent played last turn. I don't know how good that is. And also, how does that interact with secrets? If your opponent plays a secret, does Murozond just immediately tell you what the secret is? What happens when the other player plays like Zul'jin? Do you get his Battle Cry effect? Like, do all of those things count as you playing it? Or does all that stuff count as Zul'jin playing it? Battle Cries don't trigger. Okay. Lightning Breath, okay. 3 mana Shaman spell. Deal 4 damage to a minion. If you're holding a dragon, also damage its neighbors. What? Okay, so I've been using Shadow Bolt as a way to defend cards that are weak, right? I've been saying like, well, Shadow Bolt is 3 mana, deal 4 damage, and this is, you know, a little worse than that. This is that. This is Shadow Bolt. This is 3 mana, deal 4, but if you're holding a dragon, it's a 3 mana little meteor. And on turn 4, you play the 4 mana 3/7 Overload 2 that gives you spell damage +2. And then on turn 5, you're overloaded for 2, so you have exactly 3 mana, and Lightning Breath deals 6 times 3. Yeah, no, Lightning Breath is actively unfair. This card is unfair. Okay, maybe there's something I'm not seeing, but Lightning Breath seems freaking incredible. Ooh. Legendary. Valdris Fellgorge. 7 mana 4/4, yikes. Warlock legendary creature. Battle Cry, increase your maximum hand size to 12. Draw 4 cards. It's like a sprint that has a 4/4 body attached to it, and it changes your hand size. I guess if you play it on turn 10, you've got 3 mana to then do stuff. It almost seems like you can ignore increase your maximum hand size to 12. You just say 7 mana, draw 4. Would you play that? Anyway, Veiled Worshipper, 4 mana 5/4 Warlock creature. Battle Cry, if you've invoked twice, draw 3 cards. Oh, that just seems better. If you're doing, you know, a board-centered Galakrond thing, you do this instead. It's 4 mana, it has more attack, it draws 1 fewer card, and it doesn't adjust your hand size limit. Veiled Worshipper seems a little bit more on brand. Transmogrifier, 2 mana 2/3 neutral. Whenever you draw a card, transform it into a random legendary minion. That's a fun card. Not competitive, I wouldn't say, but definitely fun. Dragonbane, 4 mana 3/5 hunter mech legendary. After you use your hero power, deal 5 damage to a random enemy. Oh, that seems great. So obviously Mech Hunter already exists. This seems like an effortless addition. It seems like that's good enough you can put it in just about anything. Maybe not dragons. Maybe you don't want to dilute your dragons and rush pool too much. Obviously you can magnetize stuff to this. Stuff a Ziliax on there, and now it's got Divine Shield and Actual Taunt. Put Ziliax on something else, and now they have to get through Ziliax to get to this thing, and they definitely want to kill this thing. Grizzled Wizard. 2 mana 3/2 neutral. Battle Cry, swap hero powers with your opponent until your next turn. Huh. Okay. So someone has spent all their time becoming Galakrond, and then you get to swipe their Galakrond hero power and use it for 1 turn? I guess if you're a quest druid, you can Grizzled Wizard to give them a worthless hero power. Right? Unless they're a druid as well. But chances are they're not a druid. So you play Grizzled Wizard, you give them the completed druid quest hero power, and so they just don't get a hero power for a turn. It's kind of funny. And then you get a button that you can hit. Maybe you've made it to the end of your deck, you don't have any choose ones left, so you give yourself a hero power for a turn. Maybe it's a Galakrond one. Give yourself +3 attack, or get you some 1/1s or something. Whoa! Legendary. Deathwing Mad Aspect. 8 mana 12/12 Warrior Dragon. Battle Cry, attack all other minions. So that's very bad if they have poisonous, but potentially clears out their whole board. Man, can you imagine buffing that? You know, you draw that with Galakrond, and all of a sudden it's a 16/16 for 8 mana, and it attacks all of their guys. Oh, golden face stalker looks very cool. And so purple and scary. Skyfin, 5 mana 3/3 Murloc. Battle cry, if you're holding a dragon, summon 2 random Murlocs. It's a dragon Murloc. I'm not seeing dragon Murloc. Oh! Varanus, 6 mana 7/6 Hunter Dragon. Change the health of all enemy minions to 1. So it's a 6 mana 7/6 dragon that casts Hunter's Mark on every enemy minion. Obviously combos extremely well with Unleash the Hounds. Even if you only hit 1 creature with that, that seems pretty good. Right, it's going in my Dragon Hunter for sure. Blowtorch Saboteur, 3 mana 3/4 neutral. Battle cry, your opponent's next hero power costs 3. Okay, it's not too exciting. It's not nothing. And it just says your next hero power, not like your hero power for this turn. Just you will force them to spend 3 on a hero power at some point. Tentacled Menace, 5 mana 6/5 neutral. Battle cry, each player draws a card, swap their costs. Boy, are there going to be some highlights of people playing Shirvala Paladin, and they draw their own Shirvala, and they force the other player to have a card that cannot be played, because they set that cost to 25. I guess if you are a heavy control deck, you know, if you're big druid or something, and you're just getting killed by aggro, you can play this on turn 5 and then lose, because it's a 6/5 that doesn't do anything. It's a 6/5 that draws a card. I think there might be some niche application in Shirvala Paladin, and Holy Wrath Paladin, just because it'd be so funny. All right, 175 packs.